What's good, everybody? Richard Carey on here with Swishes Hits Kicks. We are on episode 9, and today is the day, y'all. It's been a minute. It's been at least a week since I've, put an episode out, right? About a week or so. And, normally I just jump right in and hit them good vibes, but, I'm going to talk about something that I'm not going to say it's a good vibe. I mean, I guess it's a good vibe, right? It's not a Debbie Downer for sure, but I'm talking about the scheduling of the show and the formatting. I'm going to be doing one episode a week, one full-length episode, and there will be some clips that come out from that. But going forward, I am going to be putting out more shorts, and not just shorts clips of like from this episode, but just in general when something in sports happens. I think that's the format we're going to go with going forward. We're going to do the one episode a week, right? I'm going to try to keep it about 30 minutes every time. But it's going to be it's going to be a bunch of short videos coming out, TikTok, stuff like that, guys, Reels. I'm going to have the one big one out, right? And then we're going to get, obviously, a bunch of clips from this. And then I'm going to be putting clips out throughout the week of things that are happening in the sports world, right? Because there's always something happening in the sports world. Or even in just, like, the world in general, right? If I just feel like commenting on it. Because at the end of the day, it is my show. I can say whatever I want. Let's get into the good vibes. So, the NCAA Tournament is here. And recently, I did fill out a bracket. I went with North Carolina. I haven't been following college basketball that much, but I was like, you know what, I should fill out a bracket. San Diego State went kind of far in my bracket for some reason. And I just did this earlier today, filming on Tuesday, and I'm thinking, March Madness is going to be insane. Like, it's always fun. It's actually technically starting today, right? There's a couple of games where these teams want to enter, right, and get into the tournament. And that's starting today, and man, like, I know I'm going to be watching it. I know some already started. As I'm recording, there's already a game going on. And man, like, there's a bunch of teams people are picking to win. I believe one of them is UConn, Purdue, a lot of the top teams. I'm really interested to see who's that bracket buster team. That's what I'm really interested to see, is who's the bracket buster teams this year. So that is something we're going to stay tuned with, just because that tournament always fascinates me. March Madness, all these teams, win or go home. And I love that concept, win or go home. And let's talk about the NFL. NFL, even though it's the off season, like, I don't know what it is, but man, the NFL just stays with the hits right now. NFL free agency has been going insane. And recently, since we last recorded, I think a big one was Justin Fields finally moving. And he ended up going all along to the Steelers. The Steelers now have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in their quarterback room. They already let Fields know that, hey man, you're going to be his backup. But I feel like this is the biggest win-win for Fields and the Steelers, because the Steelers have a guy in Russell Wilson who, people don't like hearing it, but he had a good year for him. Like, he had about similar stats to Mahomes, kind of, if you look at it. He didn't play terrible. He's on a terrible team. The Broncos were terrible. They got rid of Judy, right? They just got rid of Judy. Judy signed with the Browns, or the trade, and then signed a bigger contract with the Browns, which I bet most wide receivers are like, what is going on? Like, that should be me. Shout out to his agent. But anyways, so they got Russell Wilson, and now they got Justin Fields, and they got him for a hell of a deal, I think. A possible, 5th round, could be a 4th round, depending on the play. And I think, the Bears somewhat helped out Fields, because Fields did want to go to Pittsburgh. So that was, to me, a huge move. Like, what the heck? Like, that to me was a big move. And there's still, like, ballers out there right now. You have Stephen Gilmore's out there. Jadeveon Clowney's a guy that's still out there. We just saw that Chase Young signed with the Saints, which I had a feeling. Remember, I was saying in the Super Bowl he was doing well in the playoffs. He was starting to do well, and I'm like, this guy's playing for a contract, and he just got a 1 year, $13 million, fully guaranteed deal. Marquise Brown went to the Chiefs. There's Eric Armstead ended up signing with the Jags. The Jags have been making all the moves. I don't know what's going on, but the Jags, man, they're just making moves. Calvin Ridley's over here making moves, going to the Titans, which I was kind of surprised by, but I was like, you know what, man, I guess he wants to stay kind of in the division. We'll see, how it's going to be in Tennessee. Tennessee's like a whole new team, basically. Things going on. Oh, by the way, speaking of Tennessee, we saw Vrabel, head into the Browns, I was surprised by that. I thought he would do more wait it out for a coaching gig. Actually, I was kind of bummed about it. Keenan Allen going to the Bears. The Bears, it seems like it's a foregone conclusion, right? The Bears are drafting Caleb Williams. I was seeing RG3, Robert Griffin III. He was talking about how Caleb Williams should pull Eli Manning. And for those of you that don't know, back in I believe 2004, fact check me. Eli Manning told the San Diego Chargers, hey, don't draft me. I'm not going to your team. I won't sign the contract. And it ended up being, I believe, some trading had to go on for the Giants to get Eli Manning. So the Chargers, San Diego at the time, ended up getting Phillip Rivers. And that was a good draft in general. We got Ben Roethlisberger out of that draft. But that's not the only time in history. If I'm correct, fact check me. I believe John Elway did the same thing to the Indianapolis Colts, or Baltimore Colts possibly at the time. Off the top of my head, it's not ringing a bell, but he basically told them the same thing too, and he ended up with the Broncos. So, sometimes those power plays work. I know that, Caleb Williams is wanting, what is he saying? Ownership stake, which I think is a wild get for the guy. But if he can get it, awesome. But I think, man, it's a foregone conclusion. Caleb Williams is probably heading to Chicago. The Jets signed offensive tackle Tyron Smith. Got to protect Aaron Rodgers, right? And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but there's been so many quarterbacks that were recently taken in the first round just gone. We saw Kenny Pickett from the Steelers got traded away right after they got Wilson, and they're figuring out to get Fields. He ended up getting traded away to the Eagles. Desmond Ridder ended up getting traded from the Falcons. We saw, I think we talked about it before, Mac Jones, right, went to the Jags. Jimmy Garoppolo blew my mind that the Rams signed Jimmy G. I was so surprised by that. I was like, really? Even though he's going to get suspended for, I guess steroids? I don't really know. Yeah, but there's been so many moves going on, and it's the NFL, I love it because it's all new teams. I've been saying that. All new teams. It's like we're playing Madden. It's in the game. So I'm with it. I love it. And, man, I just can't get enough of it, truth be told with you. So let's see. Let's talk about some basketball. Basketball right now is starting to heat up. They are trying to get some playoff positioning going. What is it? There is probably about 14 games left in the season or so. I'd say 14. I think they're at about 68, 69. And some teams, remain the same up top. And then, others are just moving down, We have some moving up. We have some moving down. I'm really, really interested to see, who is there at the end. As of right now, if the season was done today, on the East, you would have Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York, Orlando, Philadelphia, and then the play-in teams would be Indiana, Miami, Chicago, and Atlanta. Let's check out the West. The Western Conference would have OKC, Minnesota, Denver, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Kings. And the play-in would be the Dallas Mavericks, Phoenix Suns, LA Lakers, and Golden State Warriors. And this actually kind of brings me into the Debbie Downers of this episode. Debbie Downers. And to me, it's a downer. It's a pretty big downer, only because it's kind of sad. The NBA has a huge reliance on old stars. And what I mean is the other night, I was at my brother's house, me and my wife. What was it, Saturday? Saturday night? I think it was Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. And the primetime game in the evening was the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers. You know, and LeBron James and Steph Curry. And by the way, I just said their teams. Their teams are at the bottom of the playoff picture for the West, 10-9. If it was the old way, they wouldn't even be in the playoffs. And I say the reliance on old stars because in a primetime game, because, of who they are, right? LeBron James, arguably greatest player of all time. Like, I don't think so, but a lot of people love him. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. I agree. It's hard to disagree. Stats don't lie. They are getting a primetime slot because of who they are. And I understand that to a point. And I say to a point because there are teams out there that are better teams and they're not getting all the shine. Like OKC's the number one team in the West and they don't get as many primetime games like that. And I know I get it, like the old saying goes, who can put an ass every 18 inches, right, in the chair. But I think when it comes to this, it's tough because we're getting to the point where those stars, and I said it during All-Star break, I said your Steph Curry's, your LeBron's, and Kevin Durant's, they can't carry it like they used to. They're getting older. Are they good? 100%. They're still good. They're not the best anymore. They're definitely not the best. I would love to see just the NBA give more eyeballs, more of their resources to these new players, right? So we can get some new blood in there. And I don't know. Personally, that would be better than seeing, relying on the older stars. And I say older because they are. They're the older stars that within the next 5 years probably won't be playing. Let's move on. This one's a little bit more of a downer than any to me. And it is my it's going really old. My Las Vegas Raiders off-season moves so far. There hasn't been the most moves by the Raiders, and that's why this is a downer to me. The Raiders they got Gardner Minshew, right, for a quarterback. They signed him to a decent enough deal that I think he's going to be their starter possibly week 1. And I say that because there's no guarantee we're getting a quarterback in the draft, although that is still my hope. And I think that's a lot of people's hope, especially with this new report of possibly the Patriots not wanting to get a quarterback with their third pick. So I hope we can move up and we can get something. But I'm just, I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little stressed out about it, I guess you'd say. They got rid of Renfro, which is fine because they weren't going to use him. We got Jacoby Myers, right? Trey Tucker, obviously with Devontae Adams. We didn't re-sign Josh Jacobs, which I called that. We were not going to re-sign Josh Jacobs. Obviously, we got monster D-tackle that is going to fit right in with Crosby. But we have Zamir White at running back. Zamir White, who did really well when Jacobs was hurt. We just signed Alexander Madison. And we brought back Amir Abdullah. I know not everybody's a fan of Amir Abdullah. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, I think it could be really good, but I'm just a little worried. We didn't make as many moves as I thought we could. Maybe we're trying to build through the draft. we signed a couple like key things we need, like a tight end here, right? We released Garoppolo, obviously, and Brian Hoyer, but I just wish we would have did a little more moves. There's still Brandon Ayuk out there. He's wanting a trade from the Niners. I knew he was going to. I called that he was going to. And there's talk right now maybe of a team's trying to trade for him. The only thing is, I think he wants number one receiver money. And as good as I think he is, I just don't know if he's a number one receiver. It is what it is. Sorry. And my last Debbie Downer of the week, I guess you'd say, is about Conor McGregor in the UFC. And I'm calling this a Debbie Downer because I think there's actual blame to be put on this. Conor McGregor has been coming out, and especially like as recently as yesterday, saying he's waiting for a call for a fight, and he wants to fight, and he has a hard time, doing this, I guess, roundabout, ring around rosy, or whatever they're doing with the UFC, because he gets motivated for a fight, and then nothing happens, and then he doesn't get motivated, and he goes back not training and doing other stuff, right? And I'm just like, I kind of understand that, because if you're not in the position where like you want to be as far as like fighting, and you're like, what's the point of prepping if you're not needing to? Especially a guy like Conor McGregor, right? Like we all know, Conor McGregor's made a ton of money in MMA, and so I don't know. I kind of put the blame on the UFC. Like Conor McGregor is the biggest star ever in MMA, not just UFC, MMA, not even close. And he helped put the UFC on the map in some ways, like as far as getting big money deals, but I feel like they want to like ice him out. They don't want to play the old Conor game. They're trying to make it to where it's like, oh, we don't need him, he needs us. And I don't really know if that's true. I just think that they will never let him like out of his contract to go do what he wants. I think Conor just wants to fight in the UFC, get it over with, and go box and make like $100 million a fight, like Floyd Mayweather style exhibitions. I know that there's always been the rumblings of Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. And now with Saudi Arabia doing what they're doing, I think it's going to happen here sooner than later. And let's move into some closing thoughts, And this one, I didn't want to put as a Debbie Downer or really a good vibe, because I don't feel neither towards it. I actually want to talk about NIL deals and the deals that athletes are getting in college, because retired now coach Nick Saban was talking a lot about it, kind of mentioning how it changed the game, ruined the game a little bit, and a lot of people are saying, a lot of old heads, I feel, truth be told, it's old heads are saying it, and I see what they're saying. Like, I honestly do. Like, I get it. Like, students are coming in from what people are saying, coaches mainly, and are asking, how much money can you get me? And I understand that's a terrible way to come in to try to play for a team. That it really is, because truth be told, like, what have you done? But the NCAA makes billions of dollars on these young athletes all the time. They always have. They've always made billions of dollars on these young athletes. And so these young athletes getting money, like, man, good for you. Now, where I think NIL deals are interesting is when you have people that have like millions of dollar NIL deals and they don't play. I believe, was it Arch Manning for Texas? I think he still might be the backup. And he's like a top 5, top 10 NIL deal guy. He makes like over $1 million. He won't even play. Like, that's my issue. Like, if you're a top guy and you're not playing, like, this is stupid. Like, if I'm those businesses, like, what are we doing? Are you trying to just sign the kid up to, like, keep him for the next 10 years? Like, you trying to sign him now? It's almost like trading cards. Like, you get the young rookie trading cards now in hopes of that in 20 years they're worth something. And I feel like that's what some of these NIL deals are doing. Like, a Shedeur Sanders, all day. Like, that kid's a star. Travis Hunter, all day. The kid's a star. Bronny James, I don't know. Like, he gets paid a ton, but truth be told, the output he gives, I don't know if he's worth it. Honestly, he's probably not. He's probably not worth it. I think they're signing him to these deals in hopes that when he goes to the league eventually, that it'll be worth it for that company. So I don't know. I can see the good and bad with the NILs because I think these players should get paid if all their likenesses and, they're just kind of being hoard out in a way. Hoard out. I think this should be something, but I don't know. A little weird. You know what? This might be my favorite part every time we've been talking about it. And we're talking about Love is Blind reunion. Love is Blind reunion happened the last time since we've talked. And, I'm going to be honest. The reunion was kind of lame. It was more, we're going to try to harp on Jeremy and Sarah Ann and, a little bit of Jimmy and Chelsea being uncomfy. That's like one of the funniest sayings I've ever heard in my life. I'm uncomfy. I'm just going to start telling people that. Uncomfy. I'm uncomfy. Hey, can you do this for me? Oh, no, I can't. Why? I'm uncomfy. Hey, do you think you can go mow the lawn? No, babe, I'm uncomfy. Hey, Mr. Carry-On, can you read the... Oh, no, sorry, buddy, I'm uncomfy right now. All the time now, uncomfy. But yeah, it was kind of a lame reunion. I wish it was better. I wish it was more fireworks. Trevor, beat it, nerd. Like, how lame was that? But I'm still looking for some TV recommendations. Me and my wife, we did just start Dexter. I've seen Dexter. She's never seen Dexter. It's been a while, though. There's a lot of stuff, but like, man, I just forgot that ADD brain just kicking, just like, what is going on? But we're digging it so far, but we're wanting more suggestions. We want something to watch. Something juicy, maybe even to get into. Who knows? I like a little trash TV every now and then. Maybe I should get 1,000 Pound Sisters, Although those chicks might get me hungry. Who knows, man? I might eat a bag of Doritos just because I'm like, you know what? Maybe let me join in with you, right? Oh, you got chips all over your face? Well, I don't do chips all over my face, but hey, you know what? On their chin, I guess, you know what? Oh, I gotta keep this PG. I'm trying to keep this PG. Oh, man, I was about to say something wild. Anyways, that's the end of the show. Let's get in my social medias. Let's see, what am I going to start off with? Oh, Instagram. Let's get that Instagram going. I want to hit a certain number of followers by the end of the year. So let's get that Instagram going. Please like, comment, share. Tell me how it's going. Let me know what you think of the reels, the posts, all that stuff. Let's go to the TikTok. I'm going to start putting up way more TikTok. While we have it, I'm still going to use it, right? So let's go to the TikTok. And then YouTube. YouTube is going to have the one big episode a week, but then I'm just going to pump out a bunch of shorts on there. So please subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. And go listen to audio goodness for your ears on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, any kind of podcast, anywhere you can get podcasts, we're on there. This is Swishes Hits and Kicks, baby. Now I gotta get out of here because I gotta go grill some chicken. No lie, all day, teriyaki on deck, on your chin, in your mouth. Let's go.